it seems like an age ago where we did qualify for the Champions League, but we finally had our opponents being drawn, and it hasn't been kind to us. We play the current title holders and the best team in the world. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be an easy task. Real Madrid and PSG both amongst our opponents for our UEFA Champions League campaign this year, so it definitely could have been more forgiven, but we're going to relish the challenge of being able to come up against these teams. The Real Madrid match in particular could be a huge tie. If the board had any sense and the stadium's ready by that time, that will be the opening fixture of the Jim Gannon Arena. So we'll hold tight for that scenario coming to us. But yeah, it's going to be a tough tie. We begin today with ties against Lausanne of Switzerland and of Tottenham Hotspur of England as well. Strange to get drawn against another English side in this round of the Champions League. But I suppose with 6 English teams being in there, it probably was going to happen eventually, and it's us who need to travel to Spurs. We're going into it on the back of some good form though. It was a bit of a slow start in yesterday's episode, obviously a couple of draws to kick off the season against Brentford and Southampton, but things seemed to come together after that. We beat Aston Villa 4-1, Ishmael Higuera getting his first couple of goals for the club, Pereira and Sintas getting off the mark for the season as well. We progressed in the Carabao Cup as well, Jones, Owen Foy and Lee Dilly all getting on the score sheet in that game before we returned to Premier League action and got our first clean sheet of the season with a 3-0 win against Leicester. Foy, Santos and Sintas on the score sheet in that game. Leaves us third in the Premier League after 4 games played, so obviously not too far into the season, but nice to remain unbeaten, and we're going to hope that can remain the case after today's episode as well. Sandwiched in between the 2 ties that we're going to be showing you today is a game against Leeds. They're currently struggling a bit, down in 19th, only picking up 1 point so far, but like we say, it's still early on and anything can happen. Obviously we brought in Curtis Jones in the last episode and we initiated the signing of David Oliver as well. He actually did come in before that Crystal Palace game. He made his debut in that game, got himself a couple of assists in a stint, earned a start in the Premier League as well. Looks to be a good player and can hopefully help our forward line this season as well. But it's nice to see a mix of players getting off the mark already, and hopefully it'll bode well for what's to come for us. Like we say, we're kicking off today against Lausanne of Switzerland. We don't know too much about them. Leonardo Costa has just returned to full fitness this morning, but he's only on the bench today. Probably would be a bit of a risk to bring him on as well, given the fitness that he does have, but he is an option if we desperately need him. And given the calibre of opposition we have coming up in the future, if there was a team to rotate it for, I feel Lausanne was the opportunity. So we're going out with the second team today. Kitano begins in goal. Fuda, Engel and Ter and Alvarez at the back with Arnott, Yamada, Jones, Sintas and Pereira in behind Lee Dilly. Obviously we've got 12 substitutes, so we've got a lot of the big boys on the bench. Milinkovic has an injury, so he's going to miss this game, but outside chance of being back for the Spurs game more than likely though. We'll be back for the game against Real Madrid in tomorrow's episode. But we want to get off to a good start, and is maybe a bit of a risk rotating the team, but like I say, this is probably the best chance these guys are going to have of starting a Champions League game this year. So we're going to see what they can do. Hopefully they can put in a good performance on our debut. Dream scenario is Lee Dilly grabbing our first goal in the Champions League, just for that nice homegrown storyline. Obviously walking out for the Champions League in the first time, it is a big moment for us, and hopefully it's something that we are going to relish. Like we're saying, out of the opposition we have been drawn against, this is a very, very winnable fixture in comparison to the rest. We are favourites for the tie as well, and hopefully we live up to that tag through the match. We're starting on the front foot. Curtis Jones whipping in a corner, getting it to the back post. We can't quite win the first ball, but Pablo Ter picks it up at the back and gets Fuda away in space on the right hand side. He gets it into the box where Lee Dilly does get that dream start for us. Obviously he came through the youth academy, made his debut in League One, but he's now scored for us in League One, the Championship, the Premiership, in both of the domestic cups, and now in both of the European leagues that we've been in as well. So it's a remarkable story for Lee Dilly. Very, very happy that he's got the first goal as well, and proving that he is still good enough to mix it with the big boys. It's his second goal of the season now, and yeah, it's nice to see the players starting off with a bit of confidence like we said before. We have got another chance at teams on it on the ball from Fuda's throw-in. He's still on the right hand side, plays it back to England. Everyone in the Lausanne half-low, barring Kitano, in goal for ourselves. So there's lots of pressure being put on this Lausanne goal. We're going down the right hand side with Fuda. He gets a lovely ball. Curtis Jones can't quite get his head to the ball, but Alvarez gets it back in. Lee Dilly is waiting for the ball at the back post. He gets his head to it. It's his second goal. It's our second goal. And it's starting to look pretty comfortable for us in this match. Like I say, the first opportunity, Curtis Jones isn't known for his aerial prowess, but Lee Dilly waiting at the back post. Alvarez deliciously got it back into him, and he made no mistake in firing it home. A little bit of threat from Lausanne now. Maybe the herders say it was getting a bit comfortable and made me want me to eat my words a bit. Suzuki is coming forward on the left hand side, but we managed to dispossess him. Arnott gets it away. Lee Dilly's chasing after the ball, but he can't quite get to it. We'll see what Lausanne can do from their own half now. And it's looking like a mistake was coming. Yamada can't quite win it though. Thought that was the opportunity for us to steal the ball back, but we've got another one. England picks it up, and now it's our turn to move forward. Alvarez going down the left. He's got a good little bit of attacking streak in him. He gets another delicious ball in. Pereira though can't follow Lee Dilly's example and find the back of the net, but we are performing very, very well on our European, or our Champions League debut anyway, and we find ourselves 2-0 up at half time. Definitely don't want the complacency to creep in, so we'll make sure the players go out with a similar attitude to what they've adopted in this first half, and hopefully we can carry on this good momentum in the game. It's just over the hour mark. We do have a couple of tiring players on the pitch. David Oliver's going to come on for Pereira. Curtis Jones did pick up a little bit of a knock in the first half as well. He did recover, but with no point risking him for the rest of the game, so Bolaños can come on that left hand side as well and replace him for the last half an hour or so. It's been a very, very slow second half, but we do have an attack now, it seems. England on the ball, gets it to Pablo Ter, and he has Alvarez in space. He finds Bolaños instead. He makes a poor run infield and loses possession low, but the San very grateful and gifting it back to us. Sintas now has the opportunity to get Oliver through. Can Oliver apply the finish? He can't, but Lee Dilly can't find the finish either. It was a rushed clearance from the San defender. Lee Dilly didn't have too much time to react and couldn't find the target with his header, but it shouldn't mean too much though, although again the San making it look like I could eat my words, but Kitano able to claim that one under no pressure whatsoever, and now he has the opportunity to get the ball upfield. There's still a little bit of time maybe for Lee Dilly to grab a hat-trick. That would be an absolutely lovely story for us. England on the ball now, gets it to Yamada. He's been very accomplished in the appearances he has made. Obviously he's still learning that deep lying role, but whenever he's played there he's put a really, really good shift in. So very, very hopeful that he's going to develop into a fantastic player. He's got a very good rating today as well, 7.1 so far. So it's great to see that he's taken to Champions League football well, he's taken to our squad well. Still just 18, but yeah, signs are very much there that we could have a very, very good player on our hands. Lausanne trying to get themselves a goal. Fortunately, the defence is holding strong. It bobbled around the penalty area a bit, deflected off a few bodies, but we got it out of there for the time being though. The pressure isn't ending, but Fuda puts in a really good tackle, makes that attack come to an end. The highlight isn't over though. It's been a very, very long highlight, so you do think something will happen. It's Lausanne coming forward again. They've got space in the box, and it's a fantastic goal in all fairness by them. Kitano, not much chance to get across to that one. There was maybe a little bit too much space for him though as he volleyed the ball home from the edge of the box. And yeah, question marks definitely over the defending. Pablo Ter seemingly very out of position in that defensive play, but hopefully it's not going to lead to too much more. We're still going to go out the victors, and it is a 2-1 win. A bit of a nervy ending there, but we hung on in the end, and yeah, we can only be happy about that in our Champions League debut, coming away and getting a win. So yeah, very, very delighted with the team. Very, very delighted for Lee Dilly as well. He must be really, really living the dream right now. And yeah, I'm sure he's going to go on and become a legend at the club. Speaking of legends at the club, I am still on this favoured personnel list. I don't know what I need to do to even move up into an icon status. Milinkovic is already in there, Lee Dilly isn't though. So a little bit unfortunate for the young man, but after a couple of Champions League goals, he's certainly closer to writing his name into the history books, I'm sure. Like we say, it's a game against Leeds in the Premier League next. That one will be off camera, and we're going to return for our second Champions League game. A bit of a tougher tie this time, obviously heading away to London and taking on Tottenham Hotspur. So we'll get ready for that one. Hopefully we can get another good win. It was a very comfortable 5-2 win against Leeds. Pereira grabbed himself a couple of goals before England got on the score sheet. Lee Dilly carried on his good run of form, getting our fourth goal before he unfortunately picked up an injury. His replacement on the day, Higuera, came onto the pitch and within a couple of minutes had grabbed himself a goal as well. That leaves us second in the Premier League division. The only team we are behind is today's opponent, Spurs. Obviously we can't do anything against them in this table with today's match, but hopefully in another table we can go out and make a little bit of a difference. Spurs only managed to pick up a draw against Hoffenheim in their first game in the Champions League, so you could argue that we go into the match on better form, but obviously Spurs more experienced in the Champions League, so a lot could be down to that. We did keep the rotated team out for the game against Leeds, but gone back to what is the first team today. Jimenez in goal, Silva, Santos, Jones in the score at the back, Silai and Matsushita in defensive midfield with Bolaños, Foy and Oliver in behind Higuera. Milinkovic only just returning to light training, not back to full fitness for 7 days. We've had a couple of injuries as well, only light ones to England and Fuda. So yeah, looking a bit iffy in terms of injuries to the squad, but we've definitely got enough numbers to make it through. Francisco makes an appearance on the bench today just due to Lee Dilly's absence and obviously Milinkovic being out as well. But obviously we're not travelling too far for this away day. Bit strange to be coming up against another English team at this stage, like we were saying, but it's a challenge which we relish and we want to go out and get another win. We know we can go to Spurs place and get a win against them as well. We did it last year in the Premier League, so if we can put in a similar performance to that, who knows what we can do today. Spurs looking to spoil the party early with Jimenez claims that free kick. We scored early in the last Champions League game, and maybe we're going to do the same. Jimenez kicks it long, Bolaños looking to chase it down but can't win it. He has the ball now low and spreads it out to Oliver. He gets challenged low. Muir plays it back to Perret, and it's a bit of a disappointing attack for us. We're giving Spurs the opportunity to come forward now. Van der Ven on the ball at the back, and we're not really giving them much space to play it out, so maybe looking to make them kick it long. Foy with a fantastic challenge in the attacking third of the pitch. Higuera on the ball takes a snapshot from the edge of the area which just goes over the bar, but nice to see us on the attack. And we have a corner now. Silai gets his head to the ball. It was a great delivery to the near post from the score. The keeper keeps it out low, and we have another corner to follow up. It's going to be the score to get it in again, and for some reason the goal line technology comes on and ruins us seeing this second corner. Coming down the right hand side this time, Silva Santos with a throw in. He tries to get it to Oliver. He can't quite get past Van der Ven. Matsushita picks it up low. Bolaños with an effort from the edge of the area. That strikes the post as well. The second time the woodwork has come to Spurs rescue today. I think Bolaños is the only one of our attacking players as well, apart from Oliver, to not get on the score sheet yet. So we're looking for them to break the duck shortly, and maybe this is the game for them to do it. It looks like we're going to be going into half time with a 0-0 draw. We've certainly been on top, but we haven't been able to convert the chances which have come our way, and we've been punished for this before. So we've just got to hope we carry on how we were playing in the first half, but just add a little bit more clinicalness to the finishing. We had it in abundance in that game against Leeds. I think around about the 89th minute mark, we'd had 6 shots in the match and we'd scored 5 goals from those 6 shots. We had a flurry of shots after that, I think, which were just wild, which kind of ruined what we were going for in that game. But yeah, we needed the same kind of finishing today, and it just hasn't been coming for us, and that's very disappointing to see. Oliver having a very, very poor game out there as well. Bolaños not really performing much better either, so we're going to see Costa come on in place of Bolaños. Sintas can come on in place of Oliver as well. Silai, another one who is tiring, so Arnott can come on in his place. And I think as well, I am going to take a little bit of a risk and bring Francisco on in place of Foy. I'm hoping that a little bit of youthful exuberance on the pitch, a bit of an unknown quantity on there, can trouble the Spurs backline, and maybe he can be the key to us unlocking the Spurs defence today. Spurs looking to make sure that doesn't happen though. They're coming forward themselves. Estevao on the ball, gets it into Mura, but Kulusevski's at the back post. He can't apply the finish low. It strikes the woodwork, which has now come to the rescue for us. And maybe an opportunity for the counter-attack. It was a hopeful clearance, but Costa has picked it up. It's the first time for you to see him since he returned from injury, and he gave the ball away, so it's not really what we wanted to see. But yeah, sometimes things like that happen. Going into the final 15 minutes now, the score tiring on a yellow card. Alvarez can make an impact from that left back area as well, so he can come on for the final few moments of the match, and maybe like he did in the Chelsea League game last year, just give us a little bit of something in that left back area, maybe grab himself another goal for us, maybe prove to be the winner. Spurs on the ball now though, just coming over halfway, having to play it back but still with possession. It's a one long ball forward which takes out the defence, and Nino Lammers maybe has broken our hearts. We're going to go on to very attacking. We'll demand more from the team. It's in the 83rd minute, so there is still a little bit of time for us to get back into the match, but it was just one long hopeful ball. Santos tried to get his head to it, but really it was never going to happen for him, and Lammers was able to just run through and fire past Jimenez. So yeah, it's a bit of a shattering moment for us. Like we say, still a tiny bit of time in the match, but that is dwindling away, and we found our first loss in the Champions League. It was a late goal. Could argue we deserved a lot more in this match. It was quite even, but yeah, like we say, it was just one chance from Spurs, which was what got them the win in the end. But spirited performance from us, and yeah, maybe on another day we would have been the team to pick up the win in that match, but it wasn't to be today. And yeah, the tough teams keep on coming after this. It's the current Champions League holders Real Madrid who we are facing next. Like we were saying before, that could be the opening game of the Jim Gann Arena as well, if the board had any sense, if the stadium is ready from that time. Watford can be a goodbye to Edgeley Park, and Real Madrid can be the first team that we face any competitive fixture at the Jim Gann Arena. So that's a scenario we're holding out for in the next episode. Whatever the scenario is, we will be having that Real Madrid game, and we'll probably couple that with the Hoffenheim game as well. We do want to fit this Champions League campaign into the episodes, so I think that is what we'll be focusing on definitely in the early part of the season. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Remember to subscribe to the channel for regular Football Manager content as well. Thank you very, very much for watching. Bye bye.